Weep, Grana, Weep, Ninny Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. Now, last year was an interesting year for comic book collaborations for Transformers. We had the outstanding Transformers versus the Terminator. We also got the really cool and still ongoing Transformers Cross Back to the Future, which also spawned Gigawatt or Gigawatt, whichever one you want to say. And then we also got, yes, we also got Transformers Cross My Little Pony. And out of these, guess which one my IDW decided to continue? Yeah, it was the ponies.
No! This is bad comedy.
So during the last issue of Transformers Cross with My Little Pony, and this is actually one of the better issues from issue 4, is probably better than the rest of them. At the very end of the story, I said here, when they spoke on this, oh good lord, they're gonna bring the ponies to Cybertron, even though it said the end. And I was right, because last week this dropped on the mat of my house, which is the #1 of Transformers, The Magic of Cybertron. So this is the crossover that nobody asked for, that's come back again. The first one is Friendship in Disguise, where they go to Equestria, and now the Transformers have pulled the ponies over to Cybertron. So let's start with the cover here, and the cover's quite nice. You know, the cover for this, it kind of gives me a little bit of a Japanese anime feel. Especially with Prime giving that little cheeky wink there. Definitely a little bit of Japanese humor, that kind of, and the peace sign definitely has those kind of flavors. And then we see the ponies as well on the front cover. This, as I say, is basically season 2. This is season 2, where the ponies are going to move from Equestria and come over to Cybertron. Now, one marked difference that they have on this is definitely the way that the Transformers are depicted. So the art style in this, you can see Megatron. This is Megatron in the new Transformers versus the way that Megatron was depicted in the other ones, where we can see that Megatron and everything else in the other one was a little bit more cutesy-fied, and maybe that was because they'd gone back to Equestria, so everything was a little bit more cutesy-fied, versus this one that's a little bit more standard. So I'm all in favor of that. I think that's quite good to have that kind of them looking a little bit more like Transformers rather than just cutesy-fied. It opens up a little bit tongue-in-cheek, really, having a go at people who have no sense of humor, basically. And we start off with seeing Rumble having to read through a comic book that he picked up in Equestria with Breakdown at the back, and he's just saying, hey, don't you have any sense of humor? The first issue of it also started a little bit like that in the last one, where they were taking the mick out of somebody who takes comic books a little bit too seriously. And I think that's always a nice fun way to kind of get going as well. Roll call on this one. If we start with the ponies, we've got all these ponies. We've got Sombra, I'm probably saying that wrong, Octavia, Vinyl Scratch, we have the Wonderbolts, who are high flyers, and we have Holiday and Lofty, and then here we have Prime, RC, Greenlight, Megatron, Starscream, Shockwave, Frenzy, and Breakdown. We do have a whole host of other bots as well, but they're kind of the main characters within this. So we start off with, you can see here that they are at the space bridge after this kind of running gag bit at the beginning, and they're trying to get the power. So all of this power that the ponies were showing them in the last one, the Decepticons obviously now want all the magical abilities and all the magical powers that they sought. So Mindwipe and Skullcrusher are there in the jungle trying to get these this power and these magical items, and we see Shadow Striker and Arachnid who find this purple crystal that's also full of power, and some of the Seekers go off to get some magic stuff, but they run into some trouble because all of the ponies basically want to beat their asses like they did in the last episode. The Wonderbolts, who are in Cloudsdale, I believe, are flying in formation, and they see a portal. They stick their heads through the portal, and who's on the other side but a whole bunch of cons, including Flywheels. Look at that dude. Nice. Good to see him getting more opportunities to show his face in a few little spotlights. And then also we see the rest of the cons coming through this same portal, bringing multiple magical items with them. And the Seekers, unfortunately, bring the ponies with them. Now this bit is quite cool here because there's a magical bolt that hits this crystal, but it cracks, smoke comes up, and it says, "You cannot destroy my destiny." That bit, and forms a shape of what you think might be Unicron, but it's not Unicron, it's Sombra, King Sombra, or all-powerful Unicorn. bit of pony humor there, Unicorn. And then the ponies say, "Oh no, we destroyed you." And apparently this dude has the power to control people's minds. So he's going to control, first of all, the ponies' minds, because only the power of friendship can stop him. So he's going to stop them from being friends. And at the same time, he's going to get himself some new friends in the form of powerful robotic beings, being the Transformers, or the Decepticons in this case. So we can see that some of the ponies are now going to team up with the cons, and we also see Megatron blasting Shockwave there as well. So then they're going to go on a whirlwind tour of Cybertron, which is what they go to do. So very interesting. And what we see here is that the ponies basically then tell the bots that to defeat Unicorn or Sombrero or Sombra, whatever the dude is called, they're going to have to unite and be friendship. So very similar to the first one, it's going to be kind of mini stories, and I guess this story will get picked up in the last episode, and this is the one that kind of interests me. But then we're going to get all these mini stories in between. So this is the first mini story, and this first mini story is called A Real Mother, and we have these two ponies who are Holiday and Lofty, and they are looking for their ward, or someone they know, because they've been taken, is what they think, and they bump into, on their search of Cybertron for this person, they do some stretches, and then they actually find both Greenlight and RC, and Greenlight and RC obviously look to support them and help them to try and find their ward at this point. But they run into a little bit of a challenge here, and this time it's in the form of Killmaster, or real name Murder King, who's being controlled by Sombra, and then they go to fight this dude basically. So first of all, obviously the bots think that the ponies are weak, and so the bots go first, and their bolts from their guns just kind of fall flat against this creature, and he just says basically nothing can stop him. Sombra could rule every planet if he so choose, and he chooses here, so there. And then he just pushes them away, and then the ponies go, "Well, we're gonna wrap you up in string." Wraps him up in string. The insolence, quite possibly. So he just says, "No, wrapping me up in string isn't gonna work." And then he has some surprises up their sleeves too. So the bots then, Greenlight rides RC, gets the string again, and this time kind of catapults him away, I guess. So swings him round and round and round, and then one of the ponies snips it, and then he goes flying. But they find their ward, and their ward is chilling with some of the other bots, including Hot Rod, and they're riding bikes, having fun, all having good fun. He's not being kidnapped, he is safe and just having fun kicking it with some Autobots around Cybertron, as you do as a pony. Why not? And then, yeah, they all just chill out and say that this is the weirdest play date that they've ever been on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. To be continued. Yeah. So, artwork for this one is nice. I quite like this one from the next issue. Looks pretty good, so we're going to get some Starscream action. That's the one I got. That's the other option. The one I really wanted that I couldn't find is this one. Megatron's face just says it all on this. Absolutely fantastic. Overall, I don't mind story 1, but it does look like we're tailing off to go into other directions here again and getting these mini stories that won't account to anything. But hey, we'll look at each episode. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. I know that a lot of people actually really liked it. It brought them closer with, say, their daughter or their younger child, and it united 2 franchises. So I can understand those of people who have young children really like this. For me, I'm always interested in the first story they show, and I do think that issue 1 and 4 from the last one were good. And if they just released it as 2 issues, then I think it would have been pretty good, and I'd have been on board with it. It was just 2 and 3 issues that I didn't like, and I think this is going to go the same way. But we'll cover it all on my channel. So thanks as always for your support. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!